No one revealed this about Jordan, but I will.
The NBA has been in full meltdown mode since Isiah Thomas made that statement. And let's be real, if there's one guy Michael Jordan will never forgive, it's him. This wasn't just hoops beef. This was straight up personal hate, way deeper than basketball ever was. Today I'm breaking down the real story, the behind-the-scenes tension that shocked the league, how Isiah's jealousy toward MJ triggered a chain reaction that turned into one of the nastiest rivalries in NBA history, including that infamous Eastern Conference walk-off. And yeah, wait until you hear about the leaked audio that helped keep Isiah off the Dream Team, because this part hits different.
There's no way you can convince me he wasn't there.
Thanks, Dan. David, obviously you said it was a happy day for you today, but well, tell me why you thought it was
it was a happy day for me. I said it was a great day for Michael because he's done extraordinary things for our game.
He still want to be Mike. Mike do not want to be your friend, Isiah. I'm telling you for the 5th time. He do not want to be your friend. You know, stay on ESPN, keep talking on TNT. Oh, Mike's just, now you're trying to say everybody better than Mike. It's okay. You not better than Mike.
This rivalry didn't start on TV. It started years earlier. Picture this. You're the man in Detroit running the city, bleeding for every win, earning respect the hard way. That was Isiah Thomas in the mid-'80s. No debate. Detroit was his world, his territory, his rules. But then MJ showed up, a rookie from North Carolina with unreal skill, flashy style, and hype the league had never seen before, and jealousy started boiling. Isiah built his name on toughness, not commercials. He wasn't a sneaker icon. He was the floor boss, the grinder, the guy who made teams scared to even step on the court. When the Pistons played, everyone knew a fight was coming. But that grit stayed local, locked in Detroit gyms, bars, and fans. It didn't sell shoes, it didn't move magazines, and it didn't go global. That spotlight gap, Michael Jordan owned it completely. He went on a legendary run with the Chicago Bulls, and suddenly the league didn't just want talent anymore. They wanted faces that sold, personalities that popped, stars that moved culture.
You guys had what they called the Jordan rules.
We came up with that saying with Jordan because this is what Chuck was saying. If Michael goes to the basket, put his ass on the ground. And I put his ass, because once he got up there, you got to hit him. You got to hit him. I mean, every time he went to the basket, we hit him.
You guys had something called the Jordan rule. Talk to us about that. Push him left. That's your Jordan rule right there. That's all I'm allowed to give away. It's still top secret.
Michael Jordan had all of that, and just like that, the throne wasn't Isiah Thomas's anymore. The crown was up for grabs, and the world locked in on Jordan. For Isiah, that had to hurt bad. This wasn't just losing to a better player. It was losing relevance, losing the spotlight in his own city and beyond. He wanted to be the league's next beloved star after Larry Bird. But MJ showed the world what a true global NBA superstar looked like. Isiah earned respect through toughness, no question. But now, respect came wrapped in global fame, commercials, and brand power. The game had changed, and it wasn't just about skill anymore. It was about image. And let's be honest, nobody's brand touched Jordan's. Not then, not ever. Things got even messier at Jordan's first All-Star game in 1985, a massive stage with all eyes watching. Allegedly, Isiah had a hand in influencing other stars to freeze out MJ, keeping the ball away and sidelining the rookie on purpose. Isiah denied running anything, calling the story ridiculous. He said he wasn't powerful enough to lead legends like Julius Erving and Moses Malone. But later, during an interview with an NBA journalist, it came out that the rumor may have started after Isiah's own agent, Dr. Charles Tucker, claimed at halftime that Jordan was being frozen out. He can deny it all day, but that admission speaks loud. From that moment on, for Michael Jordan, this wasn't rookie hazing anymore, it got personal fast. But the real question still hangs there. Why aim that frustration at a rookie who had nothing to do with the league's decisions? Being the tough guy used to be enough, but at that point, toughness alone didn't move the needle anymore.
A great run has come to a close. With 4:38 remaining. in this fourth quarter. Now Isiah runs out to center court.
You know, it's time enough to think about it. Or the reaction of the public that's kind of changed his perspective of it. You can show me anything you want.
The NBA was changing right in front of everyone. Under Commissioner David Stern, the league wasn't just a sport, it was a full-blown product. Jordan became the face of that new NBA. Not just playing the game, but selling it. Sneakers, commercials, highlights, non-stop buzz, the whole machine ran through MJ. He lifted the league so high that when he retired in 1993, even Stern admitted how massive the impact was. That says everything. Now picture thinking the crown was yours, only for the world to decide someone else looked more like a king. And that king was a rookie with something you couldn't copy, pure star power. Add this twist. Isiah Thomas was a Chicago native playing in Detroit. So when Jordan came into Chicago, dominated and won the fans, it wasn't just Detroit losing shine. It was MJ taking his city back. Under all that toughness, under the Detroit Pistons bravado, there was real fear. Fear of fading out, fear of being replaced, fear of being forgotten. And at the center of it all was jealousy. That slow-burning envy that never really dies. That jealousy didn't stay quiet either. It spilled onto the court and shaped an entire era. Right when Isiah's fear of being overshadowed collided with the Pistons' reputation for intimidation. It sparked something ruthless. The Detroit Pistons didn't just try to guard MichaelJordan, they obsessed over him, studied every move, and built an entire playbook just to tear him down. The moment Jordan dropped 59 points on Detroit in April 1988, something snapped inside that locker room. This wasn't, we need better defense anymore. It turned into, we have to break him. And that's how the infamous Jordan rules were born. This wasn't a normal adjustment, it was a full-on war plan. From that point on, every time MJ touched the ball, he wasn't just playing basketball. He became the target of a hit squad. Detroit's blueprint was cold and calculated. And as John Sally later admitted, it came down to 3 words: push him left. Jordan caught the ball on the wing, at the top or near the post, and the response was automatic. Double him. Trap him, force him into traffic, shove him toward the weak side, clog the lane, and wreck his rhythm. If he drove, big bodies like Bill Laimbeer and Dennis Rodman were waiting, hitting him hard with fouls that crossed the line. They didn't treat him like a regular opponent, they treated him like a threat to their whole future. The message was clear: no easy touches, no flow, no comfort. The bad boys, led by Isiah Thomas, didn't just want to beat Jordan, they wanted to break him, mentally and physically. But here's what they didn't see coming.
Everybody kissed his feet, but I refused to. That's why he hated me.
MichaelJordan didn't beat Larry Bird. You showed MichaelJordan going between his legs one time in the highlights, you know, against Larry Bird. And that was the game he got 63.
That's when he dropped 63 on Bird, yes.
While the Pistons stayed locked into punishment mode, Jordan kept showing up bruised, angry, and stronger every time. He absorbed the hits, survived the traps, took the fouls, and answered the only way he knew how. He trained harder, built muscle, sharpened his skills, and slowly flipped the script. And by the time 1991 arrived, the Chicago Bulls weren't just built around Jordan anymore. They were built to finish the job. They had turned into a well-oiled machine. After sweeping the Detroit Pistons in the Eastern Conference Finals, the road was clear. Then the Chicago Bulls stormed the finals and crushed the Los Angeles Lakers 4-1 to grab their first championship ever. But that Pistons sweep is what people still talk about. Chicago was up 115-94 with just 7.9 seconds left. The series was over. And what did Isiah Thomas do? Instead of showing respect after Detroit's first playoff loss in years, he walked off. Isiah headed straight through center court. No handshakes, no acknowledgement, just raw bitterness and ego on full display. Some Pistons like Joe Dumars and John Sally stayed back to shake hands quietly. But Isiah's move stole the moment and made it obvious this was personal.
You know, just head to head, you know, I was dominant over him. When our teams met, you know, when you go back and you look at until 91, when I basically had career-ending wrist surgery, my record against him and his team, you know, it really was a competition there.
I find that comment there just hating, you know. I've never seen this guy embrace or thank MichaelJordan for what he's done for the game.
In his mind, the anger made sense. Jordan had reportedly called Detroit undeserving champs before the game. And honestly, after years of the Jordan rules and cheap shots, he had every reason to feel that way. The fallout was brutal. The media went in hard. Bulls players like Horace Grant and Scottie Pippen called the walk-off childish. MichaelJordan brushed it off like it was nothing. But Isiah held on to that grudge for decades, complaining and trying to rewrite history. For Jordan, though, it was fuel. Every foul, every slight from Detroit made him sharper, tougher, and more dangerous.
Well, I can't speak for Michael, but no, I did not want to.
They called me to ask me to play. Rod called me and said, Rod, I won't play with Isiah Thomas on the team.
That throne was always his destiny, and that's exactly what Isiah could never accept. Imagine throwing your whole team at one man and that man still walking away as the greatest player ever. And to this day, Isiah has never hidden how deep Jordan got under his skin. Years after the Detroit Pistons dynasty collapsed, Isiah Thomas was still talking about MichaelJordan like a kid who just got outshined on the playground. There's a clip you probably seen, and yeah, that one says everything. In that moment, he basically admitted the real issue behind all of this, jealousy. But what Isiah never understood is that nobody worshipped MJ for nothing. Jordan wasn't praised because people felt sorry for him. He was respected because he destroyed everyone on the court, night after night. Fast forward to May 2020. Isiah jumped on Speak for Yourself and casually claimed Jordan never really beat Larry Bird or Magic Johnson. On Bird, yes, seriously. He tried to rewrite history, placing himself at the center while pushing Jordan off to the side like a side character. Then came the interview with Shannon Sharpe, where Isiah went even further, claiming he dominated Jordan and that MJ wasn't even competition. It's wild because the stats, the rings, the finals, and the dominance all say the opposite. Decades later, Isiah is still trying to plant his flag in someone else's legacy, acting like he was the main obstacle and an equal. But everyone who watched knows the truth. Jordan wasn't just better. He redefined greatness. Even Scottie Pippen called him out, labeling Isiah bitter and ungrateful, a guy who still refuses to give Jordan the respect he earned on every court he stepped on. And honestly, it just makes you shake your head. Here's a guy who once ruled the East, had his moment on top, and decades later, he's still running around trying to convince the world that the GOAT wasn't really that great. That whole "I refuse to kiss his feet" line. It would be funny if it wasn't so telling. It perfectly sums up the mindset: stubborn, bitter, and unwilling to face reality. Some people move on, others stay stuck in the past. And here's the thing about the NBA and life in general. Karma is real. Believe it or not, it always circles back. And Isiah Thomas ended up feeling that firsthand. Now, this is where the story gets messy. In 1992, just 1 year after the infamous walk-off, the NBA assembled the most stacked squad ever. The 1992 United States Olympic men's basketball team, better known as the Dream Team. Legends only. No weak links, the best of the best. But one name was missing and everyone noticed: Isiah Thomas. On paper, he checked the boxes. 2 championships, multiple all-star selections, and he was coached by Chuck Daly, the same man leading the Dream Team. When the roster first dropped in September 1991, then again when final spots were locked in May 1992, Isiah's name never got the call. The official excuse? Team chemistry. They wanted no drama. Guards like John Stockton looked cleaner, safer, less risky. But let's be real, that clean resume talk always felt like a cover story. Everyone knew why he wasn't picked. Reputation matters, and Isiah had built one he couldn't escape. And that reputation is exactly why he got uninvited from the party. He had beef with everyone who actually had power: Magic Johnson, MichaelJordan, Scottie Pippen, the whole circle. This stopped being about skill a long time ago. It was about history, grudges, and pride. And Pippen didn't dodge it either. He admitted it straight up. Even though he claimed he couldn't speak for MJ, things got louder in 2011. That's when an audio clip surfaced of Jordan allegedly telling committee member Rod Thorne, "I won't play if Isiah Thomas is on the team." That's wild. Think about that for a second. The biggest star on the planet basically saying, "You're not welcome." That alone tells you how deep this really ran. But let's talk numbers for a moment. By 1992, the stats gave the league some cover. Isiah Thomas was averaging about 19.2 points, 9.3 assists, and 3.6 rebounds for his career. John Stockton, meanwhile, was putting up 14.5 points and 10.5 assists, while Clyde Drexler brought around 20 points, 6 rebounds, and 5 assists. Guys like Jason Kidd and Chris Mullin offered solid production with way less drama. So yeah, the league had a basketball excuse, but it still doesn't fully explain it. Isiah checked almost every box on paper, except the most important one, being wanted. He burned bridges everywhere he went, and that was NBA karma coming full circle. It hit him so hard that he's still talking about it decades later. In 2020, he called it the biggest hole on his resume. Still shocked, still bitter, still trying to explain why he belonged. But the truth is simple. His own actions built the wall that kept him out. So sure, you can play the what-if game. What if Isiah made the dream team? But let's be honest, that team wasn't losing with or without him. Probably not. Michael Jordan, Magic Johnson, Larry Bird, and Karl Malone were way too much firepower for anyone to slow down. Adding Isiah might have brought grit, a guy willing to get physical, mess with heads, and stir chaos. Maybe the chemistry gets shaky, maybe it doesn't, but by then, it wasn't about what he could do on the court anymore. It was about how he made everyone else feel, and that's exactly why he stayed home. Fast forward to 2020. By this point, Jordan's legacy was untouchable. Rings, stats, records, all locked in forever. Then The Last Dance dropped, ESPN's 10-part documentary that pulled back the curtain on MJ's dynasty. For most people, it was a celebration. For Isiah Thomas, it felt like salt dumped on an old wound. Everything he tried to rewrite in his head, the "I was as good as MJ" talk, the Dream Team anger, the Pistons walk-off, all of it was right there on screen for the world to see, and Jordan narrated it calmly, smiling the whole time. The documentary showed MJ dominating, closing games, laughing, and commanding respect without trying. Meanwhile, Isiah, who spent years claiming he was the guy Jordan couldn't beat, got dragged back into the spotlight, exactly how fans remembered him. Jealous, defensive, and stuck on Jordan's success. And right on cue, he popped back up everywhere. Interviews, podcasts, media spots, anything with a camera and a mic. ESPN, NBA TV, VLAD TV, Club Shay Shay, even Jalen and Jacoby. He was everywhere, pushing the same message, trying hard to convince people that Michael Jordan's legendary career somehow didn't measure up to his own. And the irony is brutal. Every time Isiah Thomas opened his mouth, he just proved he could never truly compete with Michael Jordan. The documentary didn't even need to defend MJ. His legacy spoke loud enough on its own. Every time Isiah tried to squeeze himself into the story, the proof against him was right there on screen. 6 championships, 6 finals, MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, and a global cultural impact Isiah could only dream about. For Jordan, the past stayed in the past. He built, won, and moved beyond it. For Isiah, every chance to show respect turned into bitterness, and The Last Dance exposed that in crystal clear detail. So if you really want to understand why Isiah could never let go of his hatred for Jordan, you gotta zoom out. It wasn't just the Pistons walk-offs, the Jordan rules, or the Dream Team snub. It ran way deeper than that. Jordan became everything. The face of the league, a global icon, a cultural force, the kind of star everyone recognizes. Jordan didn't just dominate games, he dominated hearts, minds, sneakers, ads, magazines, the whole culture. Isiah built his legacy on grit and toughness in Detroit. MJ built a universe around himself. Now let's talk numbers, because when it comes to skill and accomplishments, stats don't lie. Jordan averaged 30.1 points, 6.2 rebounds, and 5.3 assists for his career. Isiah sat around 19.2 points and 3.6 rebounds. And it didn't stop there. In the playoffs, Jordan jumped to 33.4 points per game. In the finals, he went 6-0, taking every single finals MVP. That's not debate, that's dominance. Meanwhile, Isiah Thomas did win 2 championships in '89 and '90, but whenever he went head-to-head with Michael Jordan, things got ugly fast. In the 1991 Eastern Conference Finals, Detroit Pistons got swept 4-0. Jordan was dropping close to 30 a night, clutch bucket after clutch bucket, while Isiah played rough and still couldn't slow the machine. That's the difference right there. And it wasn't just numbers. Look at style and presence. Jordan didn't just win games, he sold basketball. Sneakers, commercials, Nike, Air Jordans, highlight reels. The man was everywhere. He didn't just play the sport, he became the sport. Isiah stayed what he always was, a Detroit legend, a local hero, loved in the city, respected by fans there. But outside Detroit, the world moved on. That reality hit hard when the crown he thought he owned slipped out of reach. And it wasn't only about stats or rings, it was about clutch moments. Jordan thrived when everything was on the line. Playoff shots, buzzer beaters, fadeaways, finals performances, every big moment screamed, "I'm the best." Isiah could hoop, no doubt, but he never reached that era-defining dominance. Jordan was a force of nature. Isiah, even at his peak, was just another great player, not the guy. That's why this stayed personal. Every dunk, every title, every cultural moment Jordan hit became a reminder to Isiah that the league passed him by. Not because he lacked skill, but because the world chose Jordan. And let's be honest, you can't blame anyone for that. Side by side, the resume says it all. Jordan, 6 finals, MVPs, 5 regular season MVPs, 14 All-Star selections, 10 scoring titles, 10 All-NBA first teams, 10 All-Defensive teams, plus 2 Olympic gold medals. That's not hype, that's history. The Dream Team became a global icon, while Isiah Thomas finished with 1 Finals MVP, 12 All-Star selections, 2 All-NBA first teams, 3 All-Defensive teams, and 1 Olympic gold that wasn't with the Dream Team. Let's be honest, those resumes aren't even close, and that's exactly why Isiah could never just admit it. Michael Jordan wasn't just better on the court, he owned the spotlight, the brand, and the global fame. Isiah had grit and rings, but Jordan had legacy, superstardom, and the world at his feet. Every stat, every finals run, every highlight screams the same truth, and that's why the bitterness never faded. So here's the real question. How do you compete with a man who was destined to be the greatest? If this changed how you see NBA history, smash that like button, subscribe for more deep dives, and share this with someone who still argues the debate.